Got another reaction. NBA 2K25 complete gameplay breakdown. I hope this ain't another just ass year like the last 3 years have been, I'd say. But yeah.
We've got the new dribbling system, including speed boosting.
He's fast
We've
as
got the
hell.
new go-to shots that can lead to some insane greens.
Oh hell no. I swear, if somebody hit me with that LeBron shit where he looks at the ball, I forgot what's fun. The fuck you three. If somebody does that tie game, they green it to win the game. I'm about to break the entire setup.
We've got the
On a
shot
very
rating
tight
you need to green consistently. We've got the mid-range game covered for all you MIDI magicians out there. We've got the new rhythm
light
shooting.
pressure.
Insane greens. We've got the
Light
shot
pressure.
rating you need to green consistently. We've got the mid-range game
Hold on.
covered
That
for
was
all you
light
MIDI magicians
contest.
out there. We've got the new rhythm shooting system. And for all you slashers, we've got a detailed meter dunking breakdown. We're gonna cover the all
Okay, I'm gonna stop pausing after this. I feel like they should remove the dunk meter as a whole. I just think it's just too overpowered. I personally think. I don't know. It's just like, yeah.
new shot contest
So you
system.
can
And for all
make
the
any
centers, we
dunk.
cover the standing dunks and the paint mash. We've got Devin Booker floaters. We've got scoopers. Everything you need to know about
yeah, you
layups.
couldn't
We've
score
got everything
shit
from
in the
paint
paint
defense to
last year.
perimeter
You couldn't
bumps to
score
bump
anything.
steals. Lockdown, stay tuned.
Oh,
Of course,
hell
we're gonna
no.
break
Not
down
another
post
year
scoring.
next
And
year.
spoiler alert, it's really good again. We've got ankle breakers, blowout dribbles, Patty Mills jump shot.
Please. Patty Mills jump shot. Okay, hold on. I said I was gonna stop pausing. This is really the last time. Why do post scores even exist? Why? It doesn't make fucking sense. Why? Why are they
Everything
so
you want to know about NBA 2K25 is in this
Rick
video.
Albuquerque.
Drop a like. Let's get it to 10,000 likes. And let's get into it. And let's talk about dribbling. Okay, there was a lot of things floating around the internet about how you could not speed boost on this game. I don't know. Listen, y'all gotta be careful who y'all talk to. You can speed boost on 2K25. Okay, let's chill.
Okay.
You can speed boost. Okay, was it different? Absolutely. Is it going to take us a little while to figure out how to speed boost out of every single move on the game?
That's
Of
how it is
course.
every year, bro.
Just like 2K24, in the beginning of the game, nobody could speed boost out of stuff. People were spamming Magic Johnson crossover for like 2 months. Right? It took us a while. People thought you had to have Kyrie Irving dribble style to speed boost. And then we realized, okay, you got to do a hezzy out of each dribble move, and then you can burst cleanly. It's going to be something like
Honestly,
that along the lines for 25 as
why
well.
would you lab
just gotta
dribble
find
in
the sauce.
2K
People like
instead
Young
of
Dirk
doing
and
it in
Koza
real
were
life?
doing a lot more dribble labbing than
Like
me. I just tested it a little bit. I speed
That's
boosted
just
with
me.
De'Aaron Fox, with John Morant, with LeBron James. And for those of you that were also wondering, LeBron hotback is back. Yep.
Okay.
You still get the big hotback, and for the small guards, I mean, Chris Paul's got the
I
same
had
thing.
this
So
the Amethyst Darius
LeBron
Garland.
hotback
He had
is
the
back.
best hotback.
You're gonna be doing it.
And
The
and he-
combos, the quick
and
little combos that
early in the game, he
like
had
Steph
like the
Curry has to
fastest
like
jump
dance
shot.
behind a
It was,
screen,
like, my
and John Morant
favorite
right there
call.
to like get into the mid range. They felt pretty smooth, pretty clean. I lapped up a little bit. You know, you could spam like the jaw aggressive
What the
combo
fuck?
breakdown, like dance behind a
Yo, what
screen,
the-
and John Morant right there to like get into the mid range.
How'd they already find a glitchy shit?
I lapped up a little bit.
How'd
You know,
they
you could
already
spam
find
like
it?
the jaw aggressive combo breakdown. And I chained together some decent little moves. In my
Spammy guards
opinion,
are back too.
the big players almost moved
scores,
better than the small players. But like, look at, I'm speed boosting with De'Aaron Fox, like
100%
no problem.
some other
And
greens,
this was me
everything.
labbing for like 5 to 10 minutes, you know. So that whole thing, people were tweeting, oh, there's no speed boosting. I don't know what these people. I don't know if they played the same game as me, but you see the cross launch on the crossover right there, little like quick, I guess, kind of quick stop pull up, the Magic crossover into like the John Wall crossover to the hoop right here. There's definitely going to be some ways to get open. We just gotta, 20 minutes of labbing the demo game at Community Day is not enough. It's going to take a little while. You see the John Wall snatchback from last year. There's a lot of ways that we're going to figure out to get open, whether you're on a bigger player, a smaller player. You can speed boost.
Okay.
Dribbling is different, 100%. Just like every other year. We got to lab it up. We got to find out the best SIGs. We're using NBA players. NBA players even a Kyrie Irving, De'Aaron Fox, a Trey Young, they do not have optimized SIGs. They have a couple good SIGs, but they don't have like your My Player where you have, one of the best animations in every
I think
category.
we know that.
They might
We're
have
not,
one
I
or
don't
two
think,
or
I don't
three
think
good
people are
dribble
that
moves
dumb.
in their package of
Actually,
whatever
no.
it is, 10 dribble moves, let's say.
A lot of people are that
While
dumb.
your My Player has 10
gonna
good
lie.
animations. All animations you have are good and give you clean bursts and clean movement. These guys are, they're
I'll
NBA
tell you
players.
one thing. This man is a nerd, bro. I beat his ass in every single type of fighting. MMA, boxing, you name it.
They have their actual SIGs. Some of them are trash. Some of their SIGs are trash. Just a bug almost hit me in the eye. Some of their SIGs are trash every year, right? So let's relax. I think we're going to be fine. Just like at the beginning of 24, it felt stiff, it felt slow. Nobody could figure out how to move cleanly and speed boost. And like I said, people were spamming Magic Johnson crossover for like a month or two. We're going to figure it out. When it comes to
this is
Steezo,
boring.
Steezo's going to go crazy on this game. I was able to like dribble backwards a little bit, and I'm
Oh,
not.
hell no, not this again.
I'm not Steezo. Steezo's going to go absolutely insane on this game. All right, so let's look at the new shot timing profiles. You have layup timing and shot timing profiles. So for layup timing, you have real player percentage, low, normal, and high risk. You still have your shot timing visual cue. At least in the demo version, you couldn't create the custom cue that they had talked about. So you can just choose from the ones from last year, so I put it on push. And then for the shot timing profile, you see it's set to difficulty based, which is basically it just automatically adjusts depending on the difficulty you're playing on. So I don't know how that's going to work with online gameplay, if that's going to be an option. But you still have real player percentage, low, normal, and high risk. And essentially, you can read the description.
If it's gorgeous you want,
Bro.
look for the grit.
You know what I noticed whenever these ads play that I don't mute it? I'm a dumbass, really. Just giving these guys free fucking promotions. I'm an idiot. And then YouTube give me 2 ads once again. I'm not paying for premium. It's not happening.
Higher the risk you go, the more your timing matters. And I'm going to be honest, unless you have bad Wi-Fi or you're just extremely new to 2K, after testing normal and high risk and all these options, everyone's going to play on high risk. Like everyone that plays the game and is, I'd say, average to above average, unless you have bad Wi-Fi, you're going to play on high risk because it gives you more control over whether you green or not. And shooting on high risk, as you're going to see, even with low 3-point ratings, I was still able to spark. So here's what I was talking about. You see I have it set to high risk reward on your shot timing profile, okay? And I'm using Ja Morant here. The difficulty is on Hall of Fame, and we're going to go in and we're going to check out Ja's 3-point rating. It is a 78 3-point rating, and I did go look at his badges after. He has no limitless range, so not even bronze limitless range. He's got a few shooting badges, if I remember correctly, but I just looked to see if he had limitless. It's on Hall of Fame.
So you actually have to be skilled to make a shot.
This is using Ja's jump shot base with no jump shot boost. I don't think he had any 3-point hot zones. And I was still able to just green. So in my opinion, if you're not using high risk, high reward, you're going to be at an extreme disadvantage, especially when you play against other good players. Like I said, unless you have bad Wi-Fi or something, you're going to be on that high risk. Now, the next thing I wanted to test
online
was
I might
limitless
change
range.
To,
It's on Hall of Fame, and I'm shooting from the logo. Steph has Hall of Fame limitless range. So, this year you can get legend limitless range, but no NBA players that we played on had legend badges. So I wasn't able to test any legend badges. But as you can see, I can shoot from basically the center circle with Hall of Fame limitless. Now, Steph does have a 99.3, but he only has half limitless. So it's going to be interesting to see what that legend limitless is like. Let's move on. All right, let's talk about the new stick shooting. Okay, obviously we've read about it. Now this is it in action. Basically, it gives you 2 timings. It gives you a feedback on the first initial push of the stick in terms of your timing, and then it gives you a second reading at the bottom that talks about your tempo. Now, if you green both the timing and the tempo, you make it every time from what I saw. If you green one or the other, you make it a decent amount of the time. But as you see in the screenshot, you got the timing and the tempo. Right here, I got great timing, great tempo. So they're both green. You make the shot every time from what I saw. But the main problem I think is going to come with this is, let's look at the 2 situations. First of all, catch and shoot. when you're catching and shooting using the stick shooting, it seemed like there was a slight delay. Like there was a little bit of a hitch in
that's
terms
all-
of
the-
how
all-
fast
the
you
all
could get the
2K
shot
is,
off. And
like,
maybe I was
the
just doing it
input
wrong because it was
delay.
the first time playing the game. But even people that I talked to, they kind of said they felt like they could shoot much quicker. Like you could instantly shoot the ball if you shot with the button on catch and shoots. And there was that slight hitch, slight delay using the stick, which obviously is going to lead to your shot getting contested more because you can't get the shot off
Flame
as
melee,
quickly.
I'm using
The other
square.
situation besides catch and shoot is dribbling, and obviously it's something new, and I was only experimenting with it for a few minutes on this demo version of 2K25, but to go from comboing dribble moves to then shooting with the stick, it felt very awkward, and maybe that's just because it's new.
I'm sticking
If
to
I
square,
had to
definitely,
guess
yeah.
whether people are
Get
going to
me
use
out of
it or not, I would say majority of people will not use this. Kind of like the shot aiming back in 2K21. I think it was 2K21 if y'all remember that. I feel like it's going to kind of be like that. You'll get a few people experimenting with it, but for the most part, people are going to stick with that button shooting, especially with the high risk option. I just feel like it was so consistent, even with that. Even with John
I mean,
Morant with the
that-
78
I mean, that
three
makes
ball.
sense.
Like imagine
I mean,
my players with much higher
I
ratings, with
mostly
jump shot
use
boost,
square.
with hot zones, lethal zones, etc., etc. Y'all, you guys understand what I'm saying. The one situation I think I could see people potentially using the stick shooting is on fades. Now these clips are from my boy Swag. He was testing it out and he said it felt really good when he was just kind of running to the side.
If I'm using square all game, I'm not switching to the stick just to shoot a fadeaway. Who do you think I am?
And shooting like a mid-range fade. So maybe people will use that. He said he would kind of experiment with it more and consider it. But for someone like me who's typically ISOing, I don't see myself comboing up and creating space and then using the stick
Oh yeah,
to shoot.
I'm never
So
shooting fadeaways. I don't know why
experiment with it
I'm
as you
saying that.
want. I'll probably test it out a little bit more, but I think I'm just going to be shooting with the button on that high risk, high reward. Go-to shots. These are actually pretty cool. How effective will they be? I'm not sure. And did they soup up the green window
but
on
I
these?
swear.
I don't know, because I was greening reds and yellows on these like crazy. And yes,
I'm
this
about
is
to
on
die.
That is a very tight red coverage. that we're gonna
Imagine my team against the CPU is overpowered now. Every time the CPU gets a LeBron, does that signature move just green every
get
time.
into shortly. On Hall of Fame difficulty over Michael Jordan, who has straight Hall of Fame defensive badges. Here's another one right here with Kevin Durant, and it's a greened another red contest over Chris Middleton. So the go-to shots, the reason I like them is just because they look really, really nice. Aesthetically, they are very
yeah, they do.
pleasing. They look very like they literally as a fan of the NBA, they look just like
Okay, hold on,
the
hold
player
on. What was
movement.
that glitchy
They
cross
look
he just
really,
did?
really nice. Aesthetically, they are very.
He's gonna put the ball, try to go from behind the back in between his legs. Hold on. What the fuck is playback speed?
Pleasing. They look
Am I
very
seeing this right, or am I
they
just dumb?
literally as a fan of the NBA, they
He just faked
the player movements from real life. Now,
Oh, but
some of them are a little slow and they don't create a lot of space. So I don't know how much people will actually use them in
Yeah,
like
I don't know.
online gameplay.
Mama.
But the one thing that is good about these, as we read in the courtside report, if you watched that video or read about it
If
yourself,
you're a CPU
you can
demon, you'll
at
love
any
this.
moment out of those combinations, you can speed boost out of it. You can also at any moment, as you let's say you go tween, behind the back, tween, pop. At any moment in that sequence, you can do a different dribble move. So let's say I go tween, behind the back, tween, and then I want to just do like an escape and run right. I can escape and run right at any moment
Okay.
within that whole sequence. And that's like the shot canceling feature that they were talking about. And I was a little
yeah.
skeptical because I was like, well, on past 2Ks, you could shot cancel, like you do a hop jumper, you just don't shoot it, right? You do a hop jumper and then just like run out of it. But it was much smoother, like they said, I will say. So
Okay.
we'll have to experiment with it. I'm sure everyone's gonna find like the one or two good like signature go-to shot
but
that
it's gonna be
creates
the
a
same
ton
thing
of
as every year.
space or allows you to
Finding
like
out new shit.
really hop away and then like combo out of that and get to the basket or whatever. People are
Yeah,
always
to be
gonna
honest.
find like the most effective ones and use them online. But from a visual standpoint, they looked really good. And I don't know if they souped up the green windows like I said, but I was green and contested signature go-to shots a
Damn,
lot.
bro,
And
I'm about
all the
to.
gameplay you see
I'm
in this
about to
video is
die in
all
online and
dribble
there's
shooting.
CPU.
For those of you that love the mid-range and love the hop jumpers and fades and all that, it felt really good. I'll be honest. Like, I mean, obviously I'm using Kevin Durant and some other really good high-rated players, but it felt very greenable. Yellows, reds, felt. I think the mid-range is going to be lethal again on this game. Like, it's going to be something people
Okay,
can go to with
whatever.
the front fades, the
Right,
side
bro.
fades, the back fades, the hop jumper.
It's just everything broken now. Know what? If everything's broken, nothing's broken. It's just the game. Well, I guarantee this man is a nerd. He does not know how to play basketball in real life. He will, if you give him 10 shots, 10 free throws, he's making one of them.
There's spin shots, all the stuff that all you like MIDI loving players loved about 24. I feel like the mid-range is going to be just as effective on this game.
Nobody loves anything about 2K24. That is the most terrible 2K since what? Probably 18. Nobody loves that game. Anything about it.
So yeah, whether you're shooting the signature shots, the hop shots, the fades, the mid-range is definitely going to be back this year, in my opinion.
But, like,
Of course,
that's
I'm just playing against
Giannis.
the
You can't
AI,
contest that
but I
man.
think I get a pretty good sense of it from what I tested, and middies are going to be good yet again. Let's get into meter dunking. Now, the first thing you might see, the actual meters, there is no green window that it shows. So in order...
I'm a bee, and I bumbled my way.
YouTube. I hate you guys so much. For the ads, not for anything else. Just for the fucking ads. Stop. Just stop giving me ads. Like, bro. And I'm not paying for premium. Oh, wait. My fault.
I'm not really sure. It's a bit of guesswork. Did it feel good? Oh, it still felt good. Yep, it still felt real
Just
good.
remove dunk meter, bro.
I did not green all of them, so it wasn't like super duper easy to the point that you could just be brain dead and do it. All of these are on Hall of Fame.
Okay.
But as I said, there's no green window to tell you if it's
That's
like,
a good nerf.
like in 24, for example, you'd say, oh, it's a big meter or a small meter. You know, they talked
That's a
about the
good
dunk
nerf.
meter logic was going to change, and it wasn't just going to be straight up big or straight up tiny. Like, there was going to be in between, but we don't even know if they're, you know, we don't really even know what is considered an in between or what's considered a big meter, small meter. We don't know any of that because when you go up, regardless of which of the 3 dunk meters you pick, it doesn't show you a green window. And the same is for standing dunks that we're going to get into in a second. So
bro,
I guess it's going to be a lot of
so
trial and
good.
error on what's a good take and what's like super greenable. The one thing I will say is going against smaller play, like Ja dunking on a guard, definitely felt a lot easier as I miss one on Dinwiddie. I mean, I show that.
Bro.
The one thing I will say is the opponent, the defender mattered, for example. Like, trying to dunk on Draymond felt a lot more difficult than trying to dunk on a guard, like a Kyrie Irving or something. Like,
Okay.
it definitely felt like the defender's attributes and badges mattered more than it did on 24, which overall is a good thing. I think that makes sense. But like I said, without being able to see the
Finally,
green
okay,
window, you really don't know
okay,
what's a good or a bad
lockdown's
take.
taken over
It's going to
too.
be a lot of trial and error. Did it still feel good? Absolutely. Let's get into shot contests. So they took away percentages.
But Patty
From
Mills
what I
jump
understand,
shot.
there won't be percentages in the real game either. So
Patty
there's
Mills
wide
jump shot
open,
gonna be the
I think
jump
there's
shot everybody
open,
using this year.
and then there's light pressure, which is a yellow contest, and then there's tight,
Tight.
which is a red contest. And then another degree that I saw was very tight, but it was also red colored. So I'm assuming it's just like obviously a heavier contested tight shot.
Probably just a better defense.
But we don't know like how much more of an effect that has. Now, the bigger question I have is some of these shot contest systems. So I just have 2 examples here because I don't want to go on and on for hours and hours. But check this out. Okay, KD pulls up. It's
Like,
a
that's
light
light
pressure.
pressure.
Okay, shooting it over Brook Lopez.
I saw
Now
what
let's
the-
check out this
that
MJ
was
fade
light
over Dwayne
pressure.
Wade. That's a red.
That's
So
a red?
let's
He didn't even
break
jump.
this picture down. I froze it at the release point of both of their jump shots.
But-
If you see the
First of all, Wade is 6'2". And Wade didn't even jump, and that's Jordan shooting a mid-range. And this is Brook Lopez and Kevin Durant shooting mid-range. How is his light? And
First one on the left
that
with
makes no
Dwayne
sense
Wade,
at all.
I
ain't gonna lie.
reached. I'm the
That just
defender
makes
in this situation. I tried to like get a strip animation or something like that. So there is no hand even above Michael Jordan's waist at the time of him releasing that
Yeah,
fade.
bro, like what?
And I got a red contest. Now on the flip side over here with Kevin Durant, Brook
I would make sense. It would make sense if this was light and this was tight. That would make sense.
Lopez contested this shot pretty damn well. Like his hand is all the way up, basically by Durant's wrist, almost right by his hand. It might be like one of those in real life where you shoot and the defender, you know, you high five the defender as you release the ball. Like he's right there, and that's a yellow. So that makes me think maybe Dwayne Wade's perimeter is much higher than Brook Lopez's. Maybe his challenger is much higher, or
But still, Brook Lopez is taller and has probably a higher block rating and all shit like that. It's just weird.
is it going to go back to contests where it's just really depends on where you're standing? Like if you're in the hitbox probably isn't the right term, but you understand what I'm saying. If you're like right up against the defender, even without a hand up, is it going to be a red this year? Because I'm going to be honest, though, the jump shot that KD's taking looks a hell of a lot more contested than the one that Michael Jordan's taking.
Honestly.
And like I said, the Jordan contest was a red, and the KD contest was a yellow. I'm not really sure about this. I'm not really sure. Obviously, online gameplay will be the ultimate determining factor on like how we feel about shot contests, but this was just something that I noticed when I was going back over all the gameplay that I had, and I was like, man, like that looks way more contested than the other one, and the other one registered as a red. So I'm not really sure how I feel about shot contests, and I can't really give you guys a good answer on if it's better, worse, or the same,
It's
or
the same, bro.
whatever the case may
It's the
be,
same.
as opposed to 24. So this is one, my bad. I'm just showing you the example. I can't give you an answer on this one. So let's talk about them taking away the percentages real quick. Immediately my brain goes, man, like, there's a big difference between a 6% yellow contest and a 36% yellow contest.
Yeah, like, what?
And we're not going to know that this year. So does that mean every single light contest is exactly the same? Does that mean, you know,
The game is broken.
obviously depending on the level of your challenger and your perimeter
The level of
defense,
your
does
challenger?
that make it easier to
Shut
get a
your
red
nerd
contest
ass up,
instead of
boy.
a yellow? Or is it just across all, you know, is whatever's a yellow is a yellow regardless of badges, but then because of the level of the badge will be like how effective that yellow contest is. It
That
just
would
kind of
make
raises a lot of questions about how effective shot contests are going to be, because you're not going to really know in great
Okay,
detail
thank
what
God
level
that
the contest is.
that
It's just
KD
either
shot was tight.
open, wide open,
I
yellow, or
always
red.
liked how like
There's
it
no
switched
more
camera angles
information
when
than
voice
that.
crack
And from
was
what I was
crazy.
told,
How it switches camera
it's not
angles
getting
when you
added to the real game. Like this, the way it was in the demo is how it's going to be in the game. Let's talk about some standing dunks, some paint mash, something for you centers. Now,
Bro,
standing dunks.
the paint was you couldn't score in the paint unless you are wide the fuck open. You would have a easy dunk and they shoot this dumb layup and it makes it contested. And it's
First
just
of
dumb
all, we're really OP in 24 because of the jab step. No more jab steps in the paint. Every time you try to jab step, you see right here, it's just you pump fake, pump fake, pump fake. There's no more. You can't Kobe jab in the paint or do any triple threat jab in the paint. Now, the one thing I will say about the standing meter dunks, just like the driving meter dunks, because there's no green window, you don't really know what is a good one and a bad one. So it's gonna again be a lot of
I like
trial
that,
and
though.
error.
Bro, that voice crack
Did
is
I
crazy
green some?
again.
Absolutely. You
Damn.
can also still standing contact dunk with X.
My voice crack, not his.
I got a couple
Just for all you dumbasses in the comments.
of those in there in the
YouTube. YouTube. Bro, who is this 45-year-old mother that nobody likes? World's biggest shut your ass up. No, we don't, bro. No, we don't. And then you give me two of them.
time where I was testing this. Paint mashing, until we play against other human beings, is going to be tough to really get a read on it. But one thing I will say is like moving people out of the way and going up with close shots did feel pretty effective. Obviously, all these guys have high close shot like Giannis and Wembanyama, but looking
Damn,
like
he
Giannis
greened that?
pushing Kevin
That's
Durant
light
and then
pressure.
going up and getting a layup, still greening it over light pressure. I feel like paint mashing.
I feel like
could
Victor's gonna be
determined
overpowered in this
a
game.
lot more this
Because-
year off of potentially close shot, but more importantly, having some post control. Because without the jab step, to be able to create the space and
Damn,
and
just shoved you out the
be able
way.
to create the
Yo, kid, you are a bitch. But I'm saying, I think Victor's gonna be kind of overpowered because yes, he's 7 foot something, 4 or some shit, and he did say that big players seem to move better.
room that you need
So,
to be able to standing dunk
Victor,
or standing
whatever
layup.
you-
I
But
feel like could be
everybody's really gonna have the same copy and paste Kevin Durant build.
challenge,
Let's be
because
honest.
that was the main reason on 24 it was so good, because of the jab. The jab would get you that separation, get the defender off of you, and then you could go up. But without having the jab, you're gonna have to go to other ways.
Damn.
And maybe post control becomes a little bit more important for a center who's looking to be an offensive option down low.
Post control
We'll have
give
to
you a
wait
Hall
and
of
see,
Fame
like I
quick
said,
first
until we
step.
play online, because just
if
against
you
the
gotta hire
AI,
him.
it's never really a true read on how it's gonna be. All right, let's get into some layups. Now, layups on 24 were really good, and as the year went on, more and more people found out about how good they were, and people started making the Devin Booker floater builds. The animation is still in the game. I didn't test it for too long, so I just got a couple clips for you there. I missed one, I made one. But also in the game, scoopers. Scoopers are back. You still get the cheese body-to-body scooper animation.
Okay, you just converted me. Everything is broken. So nothing's broken. We're good.
They did not remove that. Now, the thing about this is, I don't even know if the devs know this is in the game. Like, once people found this move out, they did it a lot in Pro-Am. I know some people did it in the stage. It was a bit more of a sweaty move, but basically, you could just body through somebody even if they had a 99 strength and you had no strength. Strength had nothing to do with it, and that's why I'm not sure the devs even know this is in the game. So that body-to-body, like,
How do you
scooper
not
cheese
know from
layup
watching
animation
all of
is still a
2K24?
thing.
And not know
and
it's
it
in the
is
game.
still
It's just
very
dumb.
effective. I greened some yellows with it, and most of them said open. Now, also with that, there's some cool new animations like that, where it's like the dude's kind of pushing LeBron in the back, and it just looks cool. And overall, layups did feel very, very effective. Now, again, it's against the AI. Like, we have to wait and see how it feels online. But
Okay.
overall, layups, they felt good. The D-Book floater's
Everything's
back,
broken,
the
so
scooper's
nothing's
back.
broken.
Even if you don't get the scooper cheese like where you the body-to-body scooper cheese, just even regular scoopers felt good. I greened a lot of layups, and then even like with the smaller players, like if they take you out of a dunk, you can green the layup.
Okay.
Those of you that were asking me to test the layups, I would definitely say for those of you that love layup builds and all that, it's definitely going to be viable again. There might even be some good new layup animations. We'll have to wait and
As-
see.
still,
If
everything's
we
broken,
find
so
like
nothing's
something
broken.
even better than the D-Book floater this year or whatever. But definitely was fun to do the layups. There's some cool new animations that I noticed. And for those like more sweaty players, the D-Book's back. The body-to-body scoopers are back. Those are all still going to be really effective. Now let's talk about some defense. Pluck steals were kind of tough to test, but for those locks that want bump steals back, I'm going to go out on a limb and say they are back, because I was blitzing the computer on
hell
Hall of Fame, and anytime my body hit that ball, the ball popped free. So those lockdowns that were frustrated all of 24 with not being able to get the bump steals they feel they were able to get, or they feel they should have got, I should say, I think you're gonna be able to get bump steals like crazy this year. Like, look, I'm blitzing Devin, but it's on Hall of Fame, and I'm just blitzing it.
Steal
like,
merchants are
anytime
coming.
my body hit that ball,
Heck
it
no.
popped free.
Somebody with 50
And
steals gonna get like 10 steals.
Testing plucks with the NBA players against the AI is just difficult, because not a lot of the guys have like Hall of Fame glove with 99 steal, like a a lockdown wood, or anytime I did go for a reach on the ball, I did not get it. Now there's no right stick ripper, and when I tested it in 24, I was getting a ton of on-ball steals. I didn't test it for very long this year because I had a limited amount of time and I had to get in the builder and all that. But to me, the main thing that stood out for steals was bump steals. That bump steals felt like they were like really effective. Like if you position yourself correctly and you get your body onto that basketball, it's gonna pop free from the ball handler, which in my opinion takes more skill than getting a pluck steal anyway. So I don't think that's a bad thing. I'm not sure about pluck steals, but they definitely didn't feel how they felt when I tested 2K24 last year at Community Day. Maybe I didn't test them enough, but I will say in the demo mode that I played here, this demo version of the game, bump steals felt really, really good. Some more defense. The bumps that you could get on the ball handler felt good. That on-ball menace, I think that's what they said was like the new clamps as you see it popping up
But
in the
that's so
top
annoying
right-hand
when
corner.
somebody
You can get a
just
lot
like
of bumps,
full lockdown.
but like Bill Cartwright right there getting that little blow-by animation on Chris Bosh.
That's good.
I don't think the bumps are like so OP to the point that people won't be able to move. Obviously, I think it's going to depend on what build is playing against what build, what the strength is, what the immovable forcer is, what the lightning launch is on, all that. But Bill Cartwright right there got a blow-by animation moving in slow motion against Chris Bosh. But then I also got some really good bump animations with LeBron against Scottie Pippen. So hopefully it's balanced, and hopefully it's not just super RNG whether you get a good
that's
bump
not
or
broken,
they
that's
get blow
balanced.
by. Hopefully it actually
that's not
does
broken.
depend on momentum and badges and attributes and all that. Tough to say against the AI, like I said, but once we get into online gameplay, I think within a couple weeks we will definitely have our answer. We touched on paint defense a little bit already when we were talking about the meter dunks, but it felt pretty good in terms of like if you kept your body between somebody in the hoop, you could definitely wall up.
Damn.
Chase down block right there with
Damn.
LeBron. Definitely can still, chase people.
I'm a rusty old boat hitch, and I am barely hanging on.
Positive fucking end. YouTube. Come on, bruh. And then you give me two again. Again, 45-year-old mom.
Nothing crazy there. But did the computer make some red layups on me? Absolutely.
Oh,
Did they
hell.
make some yellows on me?
I'm cooked
Absolutely.
I am
I think it all
cooked versus
depends
the
on your
CPU with the
positioning and then
signature
also your
moves.
rating and your badges.
Layups,
Anytime I feel
I'm
like I was
cooked.
on a good enough defender and I got my body in position to stop a drive, I feel like I got the stop pretty consistently. Also, when I was doing the meter dunks, like I said, it was much harder to meter dunk
That's
on
good,
a
bro.
Draymond Green than it was on a Kyrie Irving. So I think size, but then also attributes matter. Like Draymond's defense and badges are definitely a lot better than Kyrie's when it comes to inside. So I think that's also a big factor to take into consideration. But we'll have to wait and see. Okay, here we
At
go
least they made
again.
it kinda
Post scores. Well,
Alright, we back.
every year, bro. Every year.
Yeah, the post score
They're
is
gonna
so
be godly,
fucking
bro.
annoying.
They're going to be godly. I'm telling you that right now. You still get the spin,
this, bro.
throw animations. The post hooks felt good. The post fades felt good. And Joel only has gold post badges, so there's 2 tiers up. Right? You can go to or you can go to Hoff, and then you can
just
go to
tossed
Legend.
it.
So
No, he just
a
tossed
pure
that,
post scorer with Legend post badges.
Bro, that's
Get
broken.
ready,
That
bro.
little
That's all
thing.
I'm saying. Just get ready. They're back. They are back again. They are back again. The fades felt great. Obviously, Embiid has a really good mid-range rating and
Jesus,
post
right,
control
even
rating and all
Jokic.
that. So the fades with him did feel, extremely good. I don't think we're gonna have as high a rating on, if you made a 7-3 post score. But I guess potentially you could if you went small wingspan. But anyways, my point is post scores are back. They're gonna be godly. You can still throw people. The drop steps felt really, really good. The hooks, the fades. This was with gold badges. Imagine Legend. Y'all get the point. On and on and on.
Oh,
Post scores.
what the-
Yet
oh
again,
my
they're gonna be
God.
godly.
Post
Another thing to
scores.
test was the blowout dribble. Now you do it with the flicking the right stick up, and I'll be honest, it did feel better than 2K24.
Oh, that
It
dribble.
definitely felt like you could actually kind of get downhill with it. In terms of just getting separation from the opponent, it did feel better, but I was playing against the AI, of course. We got to see when there's another human being sprinting as fast as he can to try to catch up to you. When it comes to ankle breakers, I really only got one, and I didn't even do it on purpose, and it was on a hop jumper, unfortunately. So, are ankle breakers back? Are they going to be effective? I'm not really sure.
No, they're not.
But one thing I will say was when I was dribbling on the perimeter a lot, I would get oohs and ahs from the crowd, and I wasn't getting any crazy ankle breaker. It was almost like I was getting stun animations just from doing small little combos. So it almost seemed like it worked as ankle breaker, but also tight handles. If y'all remember tight handles, we get those stun animations. And it wasn't anything crazy in terms of the stuns,
That presents problems. Guys?
Thank you, David.
Oh yeah, I heard that.
but I
was,
heard the crowd every time I saw the defender wobble, even just a little bit, ooh, we'll see once we get online. I didn't spam to get ankle breakers all that often, but everyone else I talked to said they barely got any. All right, a lot of you guys asked me
Okay.
about Patty Mills' jump shot because it was
Why?
so good in 24.
Oh,
I'll be
it
honest,
was?
it's still fast.
Honestly, I
Obviously,
didn't pay
this
attention to
is the actual Patty Mills jump shot. I wasn't able to create a custom Patty Mills with different releases, but it is still really fast. It feels relatively the same as last year. Depending on shot contests and depending on, obviously, once 2K Labs gets in and tests all the green window sizes for the bases and the releases
Okay,
and all that,
so I know
it'll
what jump
determine
shot
if it's
means.
going to be the best shot in the game again. But in terms of speed and visual looks and everything, I mean, Patty was still pattying. I'm gonna be honest, Patty was still pattying, so it might be one of the best shots on the game again. We'll have to see. And a big determining factor on why Patty Mills was the best shot on 24 was the contest system. Just for whatever reason, just Patty would just register opens almost all the time. Like even the 5% contests on 24 looked like they should have been reds. Like it was crazy in terms of negating contests. That's why
Okay.
it really was a crazy shot on 24. So we'll have to see how that plays out on 25, but it is still on 25 and it's still fast and it looks the same. So for those of you that wanted me to test Patty, there's your quick little review. Well, that's my NBA 2K25 gameplay breakdown. If you're looking for
Okay.
my NBA 2K25 my player builder
Honestly,
breakdown,
wait, I'm just letting
click that
talk.
video on the screen right there. You don't want to miss that. You definitely.
Shout out to channel name Jonas, right? Yeah. Honestly, I don't know about this game. I feel like it's gonna be a little bit better, but it's not gonna be an insane game. It's not gonna be actually that good. But I feel like it's gonna be better than 24 though. Cause I don't think anything can get worse than 24. If I had to be real. And as always, we out.